When the Golden State Warriors passed on several trade offers for Brandon Podziemski ahead of February's deadline, they weren't just making a personnel decision. They were placing a high-stakes bet on player development in the waning years of Ace championship core. The front office's decision to keep the 22-year-old guard, despite what The Athletic described as appealing offers, signaled a desire to have it both ways, stay competitive with Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green while building for a set future that may come faster than expected. In his second year, Podziemski flashed both promise and inexperience, sometimes within the same game or even quarter. His postseason performance underscored that duality, scoring 26 points in a pivotal Game 4 against Houston, then disappearing in other moments before pouring in 28 in a season-ending loss to Minnesota. So what does this all mean for the Warriors? A team stuck between the urgency of now and the uncertainty of next. Let's unpack Podziemski's sophomore season, the Warriors' philosophy, and the bigger question, was keeping Podziemski the right move? Brandon Podziemski's year-over-year development suggests a player who's gradually finding his place in the league. In 2024-25, he averaged 11.7 points, 5.1 rebounds, 3.4 assists, and 1.1 steals per game, with shooting splits of 44.5% from the field and 37.2% from the free. Modest drops from his rookie numbers, but with increased volume and a larger role. That step back in efficiency isn't unusual for a young guard asked to do more, especially in a system that now features Jimmy Butler alongside Steph Curry, altering the shot distribution and backcourt dynamic. Podziemski often found himself toggling between roles. Sometimes a secondary playmaker, sometimes a spot-up shooter, and occasionally the fifth option standing in the corner while Curry and Butler ran the show. Still, the numbers don't tell the whole story. Podziemski's feel for the game remains one of his strongest assets. He rebounds well for his size, sees the floor, and has a knack for being in the right place at the right time. He's not a pure point guard, but he's a connective piece. The kind of player who can link starters to bench units, keep the ball moving, and offer just enough scoring punch to justify minutes in a playoff rotation. But with that skill set comes the need for assertiveness, something he lacked at times in the playoffs. In the Warriors' opening round against the Rockets, Podziemski was mostly quiet. 14 points in Game 1, 0 in Game 2, and 10 in Game 3. But then, in Game 4, he exploded for 26 points on 9 of 18 shooting, including several momentum-turning plays that swung the game in Golden State's favor. That performance felt like a turning point, a potential breakout that could spark confidence. And yet, over the next 7 games, he regressed again, averaging just 8.1 points per game and struggling with consistency, shot selection, and confidence. Then came Game 5 of the semifinals, the Warriors' final outing, where Podziemski again rose to the moment with 28 points on 11 of 19 shooting, including 4 of 6 from deep. It's not a question of talent. According to head coach Steve Kerr, Podziemski was too tentative at times, passing up open looks and deferring to stars when he had space to operate. He's not going to turn down a single shot next time, Kerr said of the young guard's playoff approach. That comment reveals the Warriors' mindset. They believe in his potential. They want him to keep shooting. They see him as part of the solution. But belief alone doesn't win playoff series, production does. And Podziemski must learn how to bring his best every night. Or at least often enough to make the growing pains worth it. This offseason, the Warriors face one of the most delicate balancing acts in modern NBA history. With Steph Curry, 37, Jimmy Butler, 35, and Draymond Green, 35, all on the back end of their careers. The window to compete is narrow. Yet their ability to add pieces is limited. They've already invested in their youth, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and now Podziemski, and resisted the temptation to swing big trades involving those players. But does it make sense to keep banking on development when your stars are aging out of title contention? Podziemski may be the most polarizing figure in that debate. He's good enough to command trade value, but still unproven enough that rival GMs would be gambling on potential. According to The Athletic, some within the Warriors organization believe the team needed more of a Jordan Poole type of playmaker. Someone who isn't afraid to shoot, to take over stretches, and to take pressure off Curry and Butler. That's not Podziemski's DNA, at least not yet. He's cerebral, not chaotic, measured, not manic, but with the Warriors' current roster, measured might not be enough. Here's where the math gets interesting. Under the new collective bargaining agreement, teams are incentivized to develop their draft picks due to stricter financial penalties for exceeding the second tax apron. Young players on rookie deals offer cost-controlled value that teams desperately need if they're paying multiple max contracts, which Golden State is. Podziemski is on the books for 3.25-26, and the Warriors have another team option for $5 million in 2026-27, which they'll almost certainly pick up. That's huge for a team trying to stay under the second apron, which restricts access to the mid-level exception and limits trade flexibility. Having a young contributor on a cheap deal is critical. Trading Podziemski for a veteran might help in the short term, but it could saddle Golden State with a more expensive, less flexible roster, one that can't reload on the fly if things go sideways. Keeping Podziemski, then, isn't just about belief in his talent. It's about survival in the new CBA landscape, assuming Golden State holds on to Podziemski. His development over the next 12 months will be crucial, both for his individual trajectory and for the franchise's future. So what does growth look like? More aggression. As Kerr noted, Podziemski can't afford to pass up shots. Whether it's early clock threes or attacking mismatches off the dribble, he needs to be a threat, not a passenger. 2. Improved efficiency. While his percentages dropped slightly this season, much of that is due to tougher defensive attention and higher volume. With a better shot diet and improved decision-making, Podziemski could see a bump in shooting splits. 3. Enhanced playmaking. Podziemski doesn't need to be a pure point guard, but he does need to get better at reading second-level defenders and making quick decisions. He has shown flashes as a pick-and-roll ball handler and cutter. That needs to become a staple. 4. Defensive consistency. While not a lockdown defender, Podziemski competes. He averaged over 1 steal per game and understands team concepts well. But bigger, more physical wings can bully him. Adding strength and refining footwork will help. If Podziemski doesn't take the leap Golden State hopes for, the decision to keep him past the trade deadline could haunt them. The front office reportedly had offers on the table. Offers that might have brought in a more proven scorer or playmaker. Offers that might have pushed this team closer to contention in what may be the final years of the Curry era. Instead, they chose the longer road. They chose potential over certainty. That's a dangerous choice when you're tied to aging superstars. Every misstep wastes another year of Steph Curry's greatness. Every blown lead or cold shooting night inches the franchise closer to a rebuild. It's far too early to write off Brandon Podziemski. He's just 22 years old and has already shown flashes of being a reliable rotation player with upside. His playoff performances, though inconsistent, included 2 monster games that hinted at a higher ceiling. But the NBA is a league of urgency. especially when your championship timeline is down to its final years. Podziemski doesn't have to become a star, but he must become someone the Warriors can trust in the playoff. If he can evolve into a fearless, efficient, and versatile third guard behind Curry and Butler, then Golden State's patience will be rewarded. If not, the Warriors may look back at February's trade deadline as the moment they doubled down on potential and let another championship slip away. Brandon Podziemski is no longer just a young prospect. He's a symbol of the Warriors' high-wire act, trying to balance legacy and future, financial reality and competitive fire. And as Golden State stares down another summer of uncertainty, one thing is clear. The bet has been placed. The bet has been placed. Now it's on Podziemski to prove them right.
Tiếp và đây cho mình phần chân thứ 3. Tương tự. Tiếp tục. Tạo tiếp với cho mình phần chân thứ 4. Để gấp lên. Và mọi người sẽ bẻ phần này xuống cho mình. Tạo tiếp với cho mình phần chân thứ 6 này. Rồi mình sẽ tạo tiếp vào đây một phần cánh tiếp theo. Và tạo tiếp vào đây cho mình phần cuối cùng. Rồi mình sẽ vòng phần này ra đằng sau. Mình sẽ gắn phần này lên đây và tạo lên phần chân. Mình sẽ lấy keo nến để gắn các phần này lại. Tạo cho mình các điểm keo. Và mình sẽ gắn lên đây. Và mình đã tạo xong là phần chân cho chú bạch tuộc. Và bây giờ mình sẽ tạo tiếp một số chi tiết để tạo lên một trái cam chú bạch tuộc hoàn chỉnh. Và bây giờ mình sẽ tạo đến là phần cuống và phần lá ở trên. Phần cuống mình sẽ sử dụng phần kẽ màu lâu. Mọi người sẽ gặp vào đây cho mình một đoạn ngắn. Cắt cho mình. Mình sẽ có một phần cuống nhỏ. Và mình sẽ gắn lên trên này. Tạo vào đây cho mình các điểm keo. Rồi mình sẽ gắn lên đây. Mình sẽ điều chỉnh lại một chút. Và bây giờ mình sẽ tạo tiếp vào đây là phần lá. Mọi người sẽ gấp xuống đây và quấn lên đây cho mình một đầu. Rồi bẻ phần này lên và gấp phần này xuống đây cho mình. Mình sẽ tạo vào đây là một chiếc lá nhỏ này. gấp cho mình hai phần đầu này lại. Mọi người sẽ cắt cho mình. Mình sẽ có một chiếc ná và mình sẽ gắn vào bên. Và mình sẽ có một chiếc ná như thế này. Và bây giờ mình sẽ tạo tiếp vào đây là các phần mắt, mũi và miệng. Và bây giờ mình sẽ sử dụng phần kẽ màu vàng nhạt để tạo phần nền cho màu mắt. Và mọi người sẽ gấp xuống và cuộn tròn vào đây cho mình. Và cắt tại điểm này. Tạo ra cho mình một phần mắt. Rồi cuốn tạo tiếp vào đây cho mình phần mắt thứ hai. Tạo ra cho mình một điểm keo. Mình sẽ gắn vào tại phần này. Tương tự, tạo tiếp vào cho mình phần keo thứ hai.